Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Exotic Giant, and I thought this was just a rumor on the Combat Patrol, which is the salamanders, which I'm a big whore for salamanders. I'm biased with them. I think they're the best chapter out there, loyalist chapter, personally. And if they became Chaos tainted, they would probably be a man's nightmare like the Black Dragons, which is the successor chapter. But I think all their successor chapters are not half bad and pretty gnarly. But, anyways, I want to talk about the combat force, but also kind of go through the new heroes, which, again, salamanders, always going to say they're number one. Uh, Imperial Fist, looking good. Shield's looking beautiful. Hammer. Uh, Definitely this is Raven Guard. Yeah, Raven Guard. His piece, I think his is like the most spectacular. I'm biased. I think he's badass, number one. But with his set piece and everything, and the what would you call them? I guess like scar leaves and like with, I guess some type of writing on them, ribbons of some sort. I think his is like the best model piece. So who's ever a Raven Guard lover is pretty good. This one is Iron Hand. They're not too bad looking. He looks pretty sweet. He's got a big old club, two sentinels that kind of do his bidding, it looks like. But yeah, Iron Hand's looking pretty badass. And White Scars. I guess this is lore as one of the first, what do they call it? A grav bike. I guess it's a really impressive vehicle, which it kind of looks Tau, to be honest, just with that low piece. But I mean, yeah, look at that. That's a minigun sitting on the front of there. You're gonna get stick with a stick or get the shit shot out of you. But here's the big one: the Combat Patrols, Salamanders, Imperial Fist, Raven Guard, Iron Hand, and White Scars. Now, a lot of people are gonna hear. Again, as I always say, I have never played a tabletop game, but I plan on to, and I look forward to doing it. But I'm going to say the best one out of all this is Salamanders, hands down. That's just me. I do have a fetish for yellow for some odd reason, so Imperial Fist is pretty second there. And then the rest of them are all tying for three. But, again, I've never played a tabletop. I do know certain weapons have ranges. I knew certain vehicles and stuff can only go so far. So I kind of wanted to break down each combat patrol, at least to what I think. And if you're a pro, you can say yes, no, or you're just a idiot. One of those two. To me, not to you. So I just got to make sure you understand. I'm not calling you an idiot, me an idiot. But as far as I see out of all this, which I think all the others have them, no. Yeah, only two has them, and the others don't have them, which makes no sense. But okay, I digress. But anyways, looking at the Salamanders Combat Patrol Pack, yes, terrific, awesome, badass. I already have him. Having two of them may look a little weird. Might, kit bash this one with something to make him a little fancier, different, so he's not two the same guy. But their weaponry out of all of this is all heavy close quarters. Except for the ones with the bolt pistols. I think I seen one with a heavy bolt pistol. Yeah, I think he's got a heavy bolt pistol, but these guys seem to have, I think he might have a heavy too. I think this might be heavy too. I think, yeah, because that's a light bolt pistol, that's a light bolt pistol. Then you got flamers, then you've got melta-guns, then you got heavy melta-guns, and then I think that's an intercessor with a melta-gun on top. I can't remember what the hell that vehicle's called. I got my first vehicle, and it's a Death Guard vehicle. It's a tank. I can't remember what it's called. It's something. That's how much I know about the vehicles and how much I care about vehicles. If you ever play Battlefield, I'm not one of the guys in the vehicles. I'm one of the guys on the ground with a rocket launcher, grenade, or a med pack or a sniper rifle. Never vehicle guy. But to this, on the Salamanders, if I had to pick on a competitor side which one of these combat patrols to use, the Salamanders is far from the top. And that's saying a lot because I'm a big Salamanders fan, and they are not going to be for competitive my pick. For my model base and love and joy, yes, they're going to be my number one pick. But for competitive, if I was going to go to tournaments, no. No. Because for one, I feel like melted guns don't have a very far range shot, and flamers, same thing. And I'm pretty sure if it's based on range, I'm pretty sure the damage wouldn't be as effective as if it was point blank range. And a lot of them are melee fighters. And, you know, this vehicle just makes no goddamn sense to me, to be honest. And the thing is I hate the most about it is none of them have mid-range fighting weapons. All this stuff is close-range fighting. And I mean, I get it. The salamanders are about fire, you know. May the Imperial flame bless ye and wash away all the filth in the world. But for this is like kicking you straight in the dong and saying, would you like another? So for competitive, no. For my hobby and love for the salamanders, 110% yes. Now, the Imperial Fist, on the other hand, I would run. Would it be the top one to run? No, I'll tell you which one's the top one to run. But this one would be one of the mid-running guys, I would say. They would be definitely one of the most pack I would probably choose. And I'm going to break it down for you and tell you why. For one, they have a Terminator that is a heavy support immediately right there. That immediately was the first thing I caught. Now, I don't know what these two items are here for. I believe the banner guy gives them a morale boost and probably an additional damage. Again, never played a tabletop game. It's just guessing here. And that, I believe that's a spawn point or something, or a warp point. Again, never played tabletop. Don't know. But the banner looks badass, and he looks like he's ready to rock and roll. Two, they all have long to mid-range fighting weapons. Mid-range storm bolters. He's got long range. He's got both range cover. Heck, he's got even close quarters with his fist if he needs to smack a dude around. Close quarters fighter. Mid-range fighter. Long range fighters. Definitely long range fighter. Like, they've got it all covered. They even got their own version of artillery to combat any heavy vehicles. And then they've got tons of bolter fire to kind of rain upon them. So if there is a tank on the field or someone in a heavy vehicle or a heavy support or a heavy counter anything, you got one guy at least that can handle it, and the rest all can support him. So if I had to choose one compared to the salamanders, if I had to choose this or that, I'm going to choose the Imperial Fist or the salamanders. Again, in competitive, yes. Tournament based, yes. Hobby love, I'm going to go salamanders first, and I have a fetish for yellow, as I said. Don't know why. I love the color yellow. The channel originally was yellow, and it no longer went yellow because things change over time, and then you go like, this looks even more cooler. But Imperial Fist, I wouldn't mind having my own little Imperial Fist. I'll probably start that as one of my loyalist hobby loving things, because, you know, I have too many favorite of the loyalist chapters that I like to basically run as. So that's on me. Now, my number one pick for competitive, if I had to choose, would be Raven Guard. Now, a lot of people might say, I don't know why he's doing that. I don't think they're good, blah, blah, blah. And there's other Raven Guard guys going like, yes, he knows best. The reason is because they have long, short, and heavy support all covered. And the reason I say that is because, for one, they have a jetpack unit. A whole jetpack unit. And then they've got a lot of linky, limber, fast guys who are, what are they called? I can't remember the name for these types of guys. It's in Space Marines. I can't remember. Why can I not remember? Oh, I want to say it's something. In the comments, if you can remember what they're called, please call me an idiot and tell me to go back and read the lore at that point. But then they have a heavy dreadnought, which I can't remember if it's an actual dreadnought. I know because he's not actually secured in it, but it's, shit. Can't remember. But as I'm saying, that if I had to pick competitive combat patrol, would be the Raven Guard, hands down. Because they have close range cover, they have long range cover, and they have the best probably support that I've seen in all these supports that actually is mobile, movable, and probably can take a few hits. But Raven Guard's got it all made in their combat patrol pack. I think theirs was a lot more better put together. especially just for the simple fact that they have a lot of infantry that can play support, and they have a heavy support that can either be front lines or back lines, but then they have their front fighters who are going to be in the shit getting covered by all this. I mean, like, you can't get any better. But yeah, they would be, if I had to pick for competitive, Raven Guard's definitely on top for the combat patrols. Now, the Iron Hands, they would be a good defense squad, honestly, for the simple fact of the 2 turrets. That's it. You put them in some points that they just defend and hold down. Yeah, I think they would be great, especially having a Tech Marine on the front line, which I don't think that's the special hero or the champion, because it's weird. The White Scars gets their champion, but then you can buy the champion separate. But these guys you can't buy separate. So I think you can't buy him separate. I don't know. I have to check on him and see who he is. But they've got the best support like unit or defense unit just because of the 2 turrets, and then they have a Tech Marine that can just keep them going. And I believe the Tech Marine gives some type of buff out to their units, like an extra durability or extra wounds or something. Again, never played tabletop, just guessing. I've watched a lot of play on, and I watch all their games, and I try to like keep up with it. At 5 minutes in, I get lost, and I just go like, all right, I'm just gonna see what happens. This is entertaining as it is. I don't know what's going on, but I enjoy watching it. But they don't seem like a very, front forward unit. They seem more of a support unit, not a guys who are going to go in there and I'm going to dig my fist in your ass type guy. It's more of like, all right, Steve, we're going to hold this line right here. Anybody that's not us, shoot them. And now you're probably, I wouldn't say best of both worlds, but it's not the worst. I do know that these vehicles here have a much more further movement than these guys on foot and that big heavy sumbitch back there. Again, it's not too bad. I mean, they've got the vehicle numbers and they've got a special champion, and then they have a tank which, your little foot soldiers can ride in. So, I mean, they've got vehicle support covered. They've got at least a decent amount of units on the ground, because I think the ratio of units to vehicles is that you at least want one squadron and then, at least 3 or 4 vehicles to back them up, and then it works out kind of like, I don't know, it's a thing that marries with each other very well. It's not a bad marriage, it's not a good marriage. It marriages to where it functions as a good fighting force. And I mean, I don't know how much damage these things can do. I'm assuming because they get a movement speed, they don't do very much damage as like this thing would do, but this thing looks like it's just a carrier. So it's more of like transporting units to get them across the field faster, or to protect them from taking damage and allow this to take the damage, and then you can deploy your units. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing they're lacking in is, I want to say, is firepower. Now, you may say they're not lacking in firepower. Maybe the vehicles aren't, but their ground units are. Their ground units look like they're lacking in a bit of firepower. I mean, you got one with a plasma pistol and the rest all with bolters, and it looks like they're heavy bolters, to be precise. They got the close quarters and they've got the range covered, but I just feel like their support is going to be more heavy driven on these guys than these guys, because these are going to be your guys that runs in and gets the job done and dirty. These are more of like, I'm going to run, hit, move away, run, hit, move away, run, hit, move away. That's their type of tactic. But again, for my hobby passion, I'm going to pick Salamanders. For my competitiveness, I'm going to pick Raven Guard. You guys tell me which ones you pick, but honestly, all of them, I'd probably get them all just to paint them, just because I like all the color schemes and all the way they look, especially the Imperial Fist with their yellowness. But Salamander bros all the way. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you in the next one probably. I don't know. Later.